this honey is uncapping fairly easily. If we were to compare the honey in this frame to this, this honey in that frame right there is the same temperature in this room as this honey. This is a different source. It's about the same color. You can see how thick that is. It's coming out of there like cotton candy. It's so thick. It's a different nectar source, a different variety of honey. And it just won't, it sticks to the caps so tightly that you can't really uncap it. You can't really lift the caps off. On that occasion, it would be better to use heat. You need to heat it up more. If I put honey that's this thick at this temperature in here in the extractor, it's just going to string out of there all day long. It's really hard to extract. That's why you want to extract this kind of honey, whatever it is. I'm not sure the nectar source, when it's really warm outside, as in the end of August, or you need to have it in a warming room. So, and since I can't lift the caps off with my capping scratcher, watch how easily it comes off though when you scratch it. That quick, that's a lot faster than a hot knife. So now this honey's so thick though, normally honey be dripping off of here. This is so thick that it won't even come off. I'm gonna have to warm it up to even get it to come out in the centrifuge.
When you say warm it up, we just do raw honey, so what do you mean?
So when I say warm it up, I don't mean heat it. It's not been cooked, right? It's not pasteurized. It's still raw honey, but I mean warm it up to the temperature that it would be on a hot summer day, mid-90s, which is about the same temperature that it's going to be inside of the beehives. So I went to the trouble to make a fancier warming cabinet. It had a little space heater in there, and I could stack up the supers and run a little bit of air to warm it up. The problem is that I found that just a plain old cardboard box over the top of the stack of honey supers worked better with a space heater blowing some hot air underneath there. So that's one way of warming it up. If you don't get around to, which of course never happens, all beekeepers get their honey harvested before Labor Day. But if it so happens that you waited until October and the temperature cooled down and your honey's super thick variety and you can't get it out of there, there's some tips on how to warm it up. Occasionally I get somebody who asks me if I can help them extract. A few good questions to ask before they bring their honey over will be, is it crystallized in the comb? If it's crystallized in the comb, the only thing you could do is scrape it out and put it in a melting pot or feed it back to the bees. That's the next year. Save it for bee food. You could put it in a warming cabinet, but you're going to have to hold it there for several days. It's not very energy efficient to do that. And you have to monitor the temperature very carefully so it doesn't melt the wax, but is warm enough to liquefy the honey. Also, you might want to ask when the honey had been taken off of the bees. Has it been stored in a shed where mice would have access to it? You don't want to extract honey with mouse poo in it. You don't want to extract honey that's had the wax moth running through it. So that's good policy to extract the honey as quickly as you possibly can after you take it off of the bees. If you didn't get it extracted before the weather turned cold, here's a way to do it. I put a drip tray on the floor and a space heater next to it. So when the hot air comes off of the space heater, it can rise up above between the frames of the stack of box and warm up the honey. Don't get it too hot or else it'll melt and drip all over everything. You could put a cabinet around this and you could put a heating element or a light bulb in it to keep it warm. Hold it at the temperature in the 90s. It's easier to extract when the temperature itself is in the 90s so you don't artificially have to warm the honey up later.
If you liked this video, be sure to check out our beekeeping courses at thehoneycompany.com. We're offering 6 full-length beekeeping courses for beginning, intermediate, and advanced beekeepers. See you there!